Hello and welcome to our fifth Building Roadshow about the topic of the holistic project engineering in the building automation. The world of the building automation is constantly evolving. Whereas in the past the focus was on programming of one automation station, today many controllers must be programmed, parameterized and managed in a project and across different properties. The programming of applications is increasingly fading into the background due to the standardization and microlibraries. The focus lies on the administration and modern data management, and even the data exchange with third parties is also becoming increasingly important. Let's maybe think about the new planning processes like, for example, BIM. So, because of these developments, we are here together in the studio to talk with you about our today's topic. But who are we? Let us introduce ourselves. I'm Ronja Breckel and I'm working at WAGO in the industry management building automation. And here I am happy to introduce Dirk Dronia and Christian Danniger, but please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, you mentioned my name already, Dirk Dronia. I'm also part of the Industry Management Building Technologies, and I'm responsible for the topic building automation.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Christian Danniger, and I'm the project manager and product owner for a new software solution that enables holistic project engineering for building automation.
Yeah, thank you very much. And for you at home, we have a few advices. So when you have any questions, you can ask them below the screen and my colleagues in the back office will answer them. And even if you have technical questions, you can ask them too. There you can find a little green bubble below in the screen, and there you can chat with our colleagues from the technical back office. Yes, and then let's come to our today's topic. And we want to start with an expert talk about the requirements for building automation and how they need a rethink of the project engineering in today's building automation market. So, Dirk, when we come back to my introduction, the whole topic is very complex, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really complex nowadays. If you look at building automation and at the system HVAC control, room automation and light management, we see over the decades that we have more and more components installed. And we are not talking only about controllers, we talk about more and more smart communicative devices. This needs to be managed, and the main topics nowadays are integrating information, transmitting those information via different protocols, storing those informations, analyzing those information, and last but not least, to make them visible in an understandable way. So, besides this, we have to deal with software and firmware updates. And when we here look closer at the topic IT security, which is a big part nowadays, we have to deal from topics like password management to security patches.
Okay, but what exactly does it mean for the project engineering, Christian?
Yeah, I think all these more and more complex tasks nearly push the pure application programming more and more into the background, especially because standardized functions combined with their individual parameterization, they allow application templates for different areas and can easily be reused via drag and drop or copy and paste.
Yeah, and we have to see this topic not isolated. So building automation is part of the building, is part of the building construction. And so the process to engineer it, the process to operate it must seamlessly integrate in all those things. This also to support our colleagues out there. They are at a maximum under pressure, and this will get even worse due to a shortage in skilled workers.
Yes, I think the time pressure and the lack of skilled workers are important points. But how do they affect the project business? Christian, can you explain this to us?
Yes, I think also we as a developer team, we also got the signals from the market and are aware of the new challenges. Many systems integrators, they lack specialists who can implement complex building automation. Therefore, the need for increasing need for intuitive software that supports the implementation of this complex building automation functions, and we need to simplify these essential tasks. Additionally, wizards, templates, and validation functions help to avoid errors in this environment despite complexity and huge data overload.
Yes, thank you. Dirk, at the beginning of my introduction, I mentioned the planning processes. What is the situation here in the market?
Yeah, the situation is when it comes to planning that we really need to have a solution which seamlessly integrate. And if you look a little bit in the future, there is something called BIM, which is around building information modeling. I don't want to do a deep dive into BIM now, but what happens with this BIM method? You build a building in a digital way first before you start the physical construction. So you have all the information in the BIM module, and this module is meant to be used across the life cycle of a building. And the detailed information or the information getting into this module are more and more detailed. And we already have projects abroad where the supplier of a system, of the building automation system, is asked to put components of the building automation system into this BIM module.
Yes, and then if all this information is already available in the BIM model, it's only a matter of time for the building automation engineering tools to integrate with the BIM to exchange central data, such as application parameters or address system identifiers. Perhaps at some point in the future, engineering tools will become part of BIM, and then all data relating to the building would actually be maintained in one single place.
Yeah, let's really look a little bit into the future. You really have all information available in the BIM module. You know the size of the space, you know how space is used, you know about the equipment, you know about the location in a building. You have all information you need down to a single individual room segment in a building. So my personal, or what I ask myself a lot of times is how far we are away from an automatic generation of code out of this BIM module.
Yes, that's a good point. But I think we are a little in the future at this moment with this point. But since we are so deep in the discussion, I want to go further. What exactly do you mean with the room segment in this context?
Yeah, what do I mean with a room segment? I refer to a guideline of a German association, VDI. If I translate it roughly, is the Association of German Engineers, and there is a guideline with the number 3813 available, and this is defining what a segment is. It's the smallest functional unit of a building, and this consists of lighting, shading, climate control. And to describe it in more detail, the next thing is a room. So a room is defined out of one or more segments. The next level is an area. More areas or many areas make a building. Many buildings make a property. And then we have a distributed property or a property portfolio. So yeah, and if you look at the structure I just described, a main topic in our industry is identification key to identify information in the system. So this automatically gets out of this order.
Yeah, again, a brief remark from my side to the segment. Yeah, often, especially, there are same or similar segments in a building, and accordingly, there is a great potential here for copy and paste, for duplicating or reusing functions. And this in turn helps to avoid errors, simplify maintenance, and thus save a lot of time and costs at the end.
Yes, Christian. Do you see further potential for cost and time savings here?
Yeah. Yes, wizards also simplify the creation of applications without the need for in-depth expert knowledge. The wizard, for example, can ask the user successive questions about what is to be achieved and then creates an executable program from this. Creating building automation with modern tools offers the possibility to operate buildings and properties simpler and more efficiently. Economies of scale can be achieved through unification and standardization.
Yes. Thank you very much for this interesting insights into today's requirements for building automation. We can observe an increasing complexity of the projects and a lack of skilled workers. And to meet this today's requirements, we in the end is suitable and supporting software solution is necessary. But now, of course, we are all asking ourselves how WAGO will meet these requirements. So we have developed a new WAGO solution for you to simplify your work in the project planning of building automation. And I'm glad to have Dirk here to show you our new solution.
How will building automation be engineered in the future? This is a question you maybe have asked yourself a couple of times. We have asked this question ourselves and we came to a conclusion. And this conclusion is called WAGO Solution Builder. I tried to explain to you what the WAGO Solution Builder is, but I will start with what the WAGO Solution Builder not is. It's not a tool to create the logic. It's not a tool to do a IEC 61131 application. The WAGO Solution Builder is a software tool working on application templates. And what is a template? A template is a combination of a logic, of the structure of the hardware, of parameters, of the field bus configuration, and of a data module. These templates are provided either by WAGO or you create those templates yourself. You work with eCockpit, you work on the logical part, and you use the WAGO configurator for the field bus communication and you design your own templates. Those templates are finally stored in a database, in the database of the Solution Builder. When we come to project engineering, the Solution Builder guides you through the project. There is a wizard function there. So first you create your structure. You start with a segment, you create your rooms, you create your area, your floor, your building, your real estate. Those templates we have spoken about before are imported into this structure. And when you have a template for a certain segment and you can reuse this template on the same segment many times, then you don't have to copy and paste it. We work on an instance base. The platform we provide is independent of a software. You use web technology to work on the Solution Builder. Finally, once you have created your solution offline, you can download it into the hardware installed in the field. So you can optimize the automation of your building by MS handling, by the configuration of applications in an easy way. You can set parameters on an easy way. You do the system addressing and the project communication, project documentation. Once you have commissioned your building and your building is in operation, the work doesn't stop over the life cycle of the building. You, on a frequently basis, have to work on the building automation to make sure that you have that you have at any time an update of the parameters from the field in the database. There is a constant synchronization possible. So you can synchronize the parameters from the field with the database. So anytime you work on an application or you change something, you have the latest status in your database. What else do? You do backup and restore. You take care of firmware updates. And when it comes to device replacements, the WAGO Solution Builder supports you here. Finally, you can see what has been changed by tracking the changes. And you can see who has changed it, because there is a right management also coming with the WAGO Solution Builder. So to summarize this, in the first step, we have the WAGO configurators, and we have the eCockpit you use to create WAGO templates for the Solution Builder. Those templates are used in the Solution Builder to engineer your whole project, and not only one project, you can work on multiple projects at any time. So what are your benefits? You're saving time and you minimize errors in engineering and documentation. You have a clear structured organization even of large projects in the Solution Builder. You can work parallel on the Solution Builder with many employees. You can manage many controllers and you can maintain and service those controllers. And you have one software for the entire building, also across real estates, distributed real estates, over the whole life cycle. So, last but not least, we support IT security, so you have a simple basic protection of the controllers. We take care of the firewall settings and also of password management. I hope this was a good overview to you, a first good overview to you about the WAGO Solution Builder. And we hope we got your attraction, and we are happy to answer your questions.
Thank you very much, Dirk, for the insights into the WAGO Solution Builder. Now, Christian will show us a practical presentation with the basic functionalities to get a deeper insight in our solution.
Yeah, okay. I'm happy to give you a short insight into the WAGO Solution Builder now. And I start with a small project, which I prepared. This small project, it's called WAGO Solution Builder Demonstration. It has a property created in Minden with a building C3, with an upper floor 1, and with an automation focal point, which we see already here. All these entities in this tree on the left side can easily be added. Like, for example, I can also add a group to automate things, and then we can change the contents of this group or the parameters of different parts. But first of all, I would like to show you as an example the addressing system configuration. We discussed the addressing system already before. The addressing system, for example, for this room is created from the room number, RO1, ASP01, the upper floor 01, the building C3, and the property Minden. And we see the complete combined addressing system identifier for room 1 and for room 2. So everything is perfectly created automatically. Now we talked about reusable applications. Here we can have several endless number of application templates in a solution. And to instantiate, to use such an application template, I just drag and drop this two-room demonstration, for example, to the ASP01. Now this application template automatically created the required controller. I rename this controller for simplicity to PFC1 in this example. The name came from the application template in the beginning, but I can rename, change everything what I want. Now this application template came with a full functional structure included. We see this application covers or handles two rooms, the room A and the room B, and we can easily relocate these functional structures to the respective rooms. So we can say this application automates the meeting room 01, and the other functional structure automates the meeting room 2. And again, we see with a functional point, for example, that the full address system identifier has been maintained and automatically created. Now, after we have configured our solution and imported an application, we do the cross communication later. We go to the next point, validation. To validate my whole solution configuration, I just need one click to validate. And it tells me that there is a missing IP address somewhere. The details are described below. Now I can handle this validation message or fix it by click the fix it button. If I click it, it opens the entity, the PFC1, and we see there is no IP address. I add an IP address, also add the BACnet address, and can save it. If I go back to the validation, we see the warning number 1 and validate again. We see we have no more problems in our solution. Now let's configure the controller a little bit before we go online. I go to the controller and I can, for example, specify a host name here and say this is host name, let's say demo 11. Or I can switch or configure several firewall settings, for example, disable the HTTP protocol. And after the controller, we can also parameterize our solution, which we instantiated. So I use the two-room application and I can set some parameters, for example, some texts here, demo 11, or I can choose a color for some things if I want, whatever, and I can change this by saving it. Now we have configured a controller, we have configured our application, and now in the next step we can go online. But before we go online, let's have a short look on the security. The security is a global feature which helps us to easily manage security. For example, to secure all controllers. I just before checked the HTTP or unchecked the HTTP firewall port, but this is requires many detailed steps here. With this function, I can secure all controllers and close all ports which are not needed with one click. The same I can do with the passwords. I can set all the passwords which I like and set all passwords on all controller to a same name. Okay, they are the same with this function, but they are changed on all controllers at once to a new password. This simplifies security handling very quickly and easily. And in parallel, we can maintain an audit trail or manage the users of this solution. Licensing is also covered, but this is too much details for now. Now we go to the network, which means I go online with my controller network. If I switch this on, then we wait some seconds and we see the controller PFC1 has some changes. It is running. It has a certain name, but we gave a different name. And the last monitor was just now. And after going online, I can just select the controller and say synchronize. It warns me because the controller has some changes and I have some changes, and it gives me a warning because the controller needs a restart. But I know what I do, so I restart the controller. Now I could continue with my other work, but I can also watch the details of a job by just opening the job details. And we see that some scripts are running. So the job is running in the background. And after a while, this job will be finished. So after the controller has been restarted, and now we see the controller is in sync. There are no differences. It's in run state. And if I deselect the row, we see everything is green. And these are also the concrete icons. Now we have done a full application instantiation, parameterization, and we configured the controller. The application is running. Now we want to use the reuse the functionalities or use the copy-paste functions. For this, I, for example, take this automation focal point and just duplicate it. I copy it and paste it again. Now I have the same automation focal point again. To identify this other controller with a different name, I change it. And I also see that in, for example, in this other room, the functionalities regarding the addressing system has the automatically adopted address system identifier ASP2. In the other section here, it's ASP01. So the whole addressing system is maintained perfectly. Now, important thing which we skipped so far is the cross communication. Now we want to let these two controllers talk to each other. I create a connection between these two just by drag and drop. And now we have a BACnet connection between PFC1 and PFC2. But they also need some client mapping. If you talk about BACnet, I can map the present value of these two elements and read them, and I can add more client mappings. So this is everything I need to do to create a cross communication. And then after we created the cross communication for this upper floor, maybe we want to duplicate the complete floor. And this I can again do with copy and paste. So now this pastes the whole floor, and now I have the floor duplicated. So everything is the same, just the address system identifier is a little bit different because upper floor 2, now I need to maintain this. Now my address system identifier is updated for the upper floor 2, and here it is upper floor 1. But the other interesting point is that the cross communication between the two controllers in the one floor was also copied to the other floor. We have now a connection PFC1 and 2 in upper floor 1 and upper floor 2. What we also can do is another thing I want to show is multi-edit in the configuration. For this, I select my controllers, this one, maybe this one, here I have another one. So if I want to change anything of multiple elements in a tree, I can just do a multi-select and then adjust the tags. For example, I can say these are all controllers. So all these controllers are now tagged with this tag controller. So that's multi-edit. I can also multi-edit controller IP addresses or anything what I want. Or if I only want to change one, it's enough to change only one. Now, after we have done the full configuration, we have configured, we have created cross communication. At the end, I want to create a documentation. To create a documentation, I just select the chapters I want and the detail level, if basic or extended, and I can customize my report with an individual introduction, with an imprint. I want to put there title, subtitle, or I can choose an image which I want to have on the cover page. After I've done this, I just generate the documentation, which is now running in the background. If it's a larger project, I can also continue with other work. It doesn't matter. And after the documentation has been created, it's ready for downloading, and we see our full documentation of the project with the table of content, with the introduction, and with all the details. So that's the quick view through the WAGO Solution Builder. There are many, many more functionalities, especially in the detail, but that's it for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christian, for the practical presentation of the WAGO Solution Builder. But what happens to the Solution Builder in further stages of the building life cycle?
I think the Solution Builder will be used in all phases of the building life cycle. The standardized processes and workflows, especially from the perspective of solution building automation, ensure economical and life cycle oriented operation.
Yeah, life cycle is a topic. The Solution Builder accompanies the building or the system integrator and operator throughout the life cycle. And the aim is a seamlessly integration of the Solution Builder into the planning process and the operating process.
We have seen how efficiently and reliably projects in building automation can be engineered with the WAGO Solution Builder. The holistic approach, the management of application templates and the mess handling, as well as the platform independency and the easy-to-create project documentation makes your work easier. Christian, what is the next step at WAGO with today's topic?
The WAGO Solution Builder, as I have just shown, will be available to our customers starting this December. In order to give them an easy opportunity to get hand-on experience with the Solution Builder, we are starting with the market introduction phase, free of cost for the entire coming year 2022. And at the upcoming Light and Building, we are also looking forward to give you further insights into the Solution Builder and to enter into a more in-depth dialogue with you, our users.
Yes, thank you very much. This brings us to the end of this event. Thank you very much to Dirk and Christian for participating here, and thank you very much for you all behind the screens. We look forward to exchange ideas with you afterwards in the networking area. So to get to the networking area, you step outside this stream and then you come back to the welcome area, and there you can easily enter the networking area. Yes, and so we say goodbye and see you again. We are looking forward to hear from you.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye-bye.